and families. Welcome to Middle College High School's virtual preview night webinar. This is our first time doing this, so I hope everything goes smoothly. My name is Feeny Prack, and I am the principal of Middle College High School. This is my 5th year serving in this role, and it's such a privilege and honor to work in such an amazing program. Presenting with me this evening are my 2 panelists. We have our office manager, Ms. Chris Moore, and our high school counselor, Ms. Erica Martinez. We also have with us Ms. Roxana Molina, who will be our Spanish interpreter. So if you need if you would like to, I'm sorry, I'm clicking on the button here. If you need Spanish translation, on the bottom of your screen, you can click on a globe button, and that's where you will hear Ms. Molina translate what we're saying into Spanish. So before we begin our PowerPoint presentation, please enjoy this short video clip created by a few of our Middle College High School leadership students.
My name is Cynthia Chayasith, and I'm currently a junior at Middle College. I came from Helms Middle School in San Pablo, and I'm hoping that you guys see from this presentation that there is many great opportunities, just like I did. As you can see from our previous video, we formed many bonds with many of our classmates and other students in other classes, and I'm really hoping that you guys are encouraged from this presentation to also attend Middle College. I'm hoping to see some of you guys here your freshman year, and yeah, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Madison Tan and I am a sophomore at Middle College. I went to Carquinez Middle School in Crockett, California, and I chose Middle College High School, and I wanted to attend because I heard about the extracurriculars and college classes, and I really thought it was a better opportunity for me to go to Middle College rather than my residential school. And so yeah, I really thought about the possibilities before I could move on in my life, and I chose to go to Middle College, and luckily I got accepted, so thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Arin Sen. I'm currently a sophomore at Middle College High School, and I attended East Bay School for Boys for middle.
Hi, my name is Supreet Kaur, and I'm a sophomore at Middle College. I used to attend Richmond Charter Academy for middle school. The reason why I chose Middle College is just because of the diversity as well. I know in my old school we didn't have that much diversity, and I felt like an outcast, like I didn't fit in, which really bothered me. I also chose Middle College because of the challenge, and I knew it would benefit my future for the long run.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily Bolanos, and I'm currently a junior at Middle College High School. I come from Helms Middle School, House C1 Engineering, and I'm going to tell you why I applied to Middle College. I applied to Middle College because I believed it was going to help me succeed in my future. No other high school gives you the unique opportunity to take both high school and college classes at the same time, which not only gives you experience for your future, but also helps you save time and money because you will only have to take 2 years at university. I also applied to Middle College because I knew it was going to help me challenge me to do my best, which it has. And now that I am a junior in Middle College, I can tell you that I have learned from both my mistakes and successes. And I don't think going to any other high school would have given me the same impact that Middle College has given me. So to this day, I'm still grateful that I applied to Middle College, and I hope that you guys do too.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brennan Karethi. I'm currently a sophomore at Middle College. I went to St. Joseph Middle School in Pono a few years back. I chose Middle College because of the opportunities that they provide for determined and focused kids, such as getting an AA. If you're diligent and you take the classes that you need to get, that's one of my plans. My highlight is the kids, the students. They're nice. They're similar to me. They're determined and focused. So it's just a community that's uplifting and encouraging. And I definitely encourage you to attend.
Hello, my name is Twisha Tho. I'm a freshman at Middle College High School. I went to earned intermediate school and I came to Middle College because I wanted a school that would help me accelerate my path to university, and this turned out to be the best one. The college courses were also another important factor as to why I chose to apply. The two of those combined sparked my interest, so I decided to register. Luckily, I got accepted. Hope to see some of you during your freshman year.
Hi everyone, my name is Tristan Julian Callip and I am a current freshman here at Middle College High School. Last year I attended Hercules Middle School where I first heard about MCHS from several upperclassmen. Now the reason I applied to MCHS is because of the education opportunities that it offered me. Some highlights I would say about the school is the amount of help and support that I receive as a student because it makes me achieve and inspires me to do more. Hope you guys are able to do the same transition to attend MCHS, and I hope to see you here.
All right, so now that you guys had a chance to see some of our amazing students, here's the agenda for tonight. First, you'll get a chance to learn more about our program and expectations from me. Then you'll get direct facts from our counselor, Ms. Martinez. And then you'll receive an overview of the online application process from Ms. Moore. There is a section for Q&A on this webinar, which is on the bottom tab, but we ask that you hold all questions until the end of our presentation. We will be covering a lot of information, so I know that many of your questions might already be answered in some of our slides. All right, so let's get started. So Middle College High School at Contra Costa College has been around since 1989. Unlike other comprehensive and traditional high schools, our program is an early college program where our students, as you heard from of our current students, they have the opportunity to take both high school and college classes simultaneously. There are a lot of middle college programs in California and the US, but honestly, our program here in West Contra Costa Unified is one of the longest standing middle colleges in our nation. Over the years, we've been recognized for being one of the US News and World Report top high schools, and we have received several distinguished school awards from the state. It is a highly rigorous program and our students will be challenged, but at the end, they will graduate with not only a high school diploma, but also the ability to earn transferable college credits, which in turn saves our students time in college and parents a lot of money from college tuition, books, and fees. So if you guys are interested in applying to our program and want to take advantage of this amazing opportunity, here are the requirements that you'll need to meet. So you do have to be a WCCUSD resident with 2 years of California residency. Be currently in 8th or 9th grade. 10th and 11th graders may apply, but space is not guaranteed. And also additional factors will have to be determined to make sure our program's a good fit for you. Students need to have exceptional attendance and behavior. Our high school and college instructors expect students to show up daily and act maturely. And then lastly, all applications will be chosen through a review process. Some of the characteristics of the students who pursue our program and stay tend to be highly self-motivated, be responsible, be dedicated to learning, be eager for a rigorous academic experience. If they're feeling bored or unchallenged in a traditional high school, a lot of the students are successful here, and plan to continue to college after graduation.
So I'm Miss Martinez, I'm the counselor at Middle College High School. I'm gonna go over the next couple of slides. So students, these are things that we want you to ask yourselves, and I'm gonna give examples for each question. So the first one, Do you want to be challenged academically, socially, and mentally? An example of this is you're going to be in both college and high school classes. So you're going to have to be able to meet the expectations of both your high school teachers and your college instructors. So that's what we are talking about as far as academically, socially, and mentally challenging coursework. Will you be comfortable in a class with adults and adult content? So some of you all of you are going to end up taking health if you do get into our program. And so during a college health class, you're going to be in a room with college adults and have a college instructor. So there may be discussions about bodily functions and you may want to laugh, but you're going to be in a classroom with nothing but, you're going to have middle college students with you, but you'll also have adult students in the class with you. So it's probably not appropriate to laugh. So just things to keep in mind. You have to have that level of maturity and you have to kind of grow up pretty quickly if you're in a room with nothing but adult college students. So that's an example of that. Prioritizing multiple assignments. So an example of this is you may have an assignment that has a deadline that's 2 weeks out. We don't want you to wait until the last minute to start working on that. That means you need to know and have like a set schedule of when you need to kind of keep a schedule of when assignments are due. And you're going to be in at least 2 college classes per semester plus your high school classes. Managing time during school and after school. So there's no bell system at our school because we're on the college campus and there's no PA system. There's no hall monitors. There's no one there telling you what time you need to be in class. You have to know and get to your classroom at the appropriate time. You need to find out what your instructor's office hours are. And office hours are basically when you can go in and ask that instructor questions or get extra help if you're not sure about an assignment. So you have to be pretty mature enough to remember all of those things. Sacrificing social activities. So to make school the priority. You may want to attend a birthday party on the weekend, but if you have an assignment or a research project that's due, you kind of need to put the social activities to the side so that you can get your work done, because your focus has to be on your education and not necessarily the social piece of being, a weekend where your friends are out having fun that may be at a comprehensive and you have more work to do. Comfortable speaking to adults. So you can't, we get this a lot sometimes when students are just joining us. Not all the college instructors realize that you guys are high school students, so their tone may come across as harsh, but we want you to overlook the tone just to hear the message. We don't want you to get your feelings hurt or offended when someone tells you something. That's just part of how it goes at our school site. So you kind of have to understand, just overlook the tone and hear the message. Okay, navigating new settings and being flexible. So a lot happens every semester at Contra Costa College where we are thrown a curveball and we have to just roll with it. And that means you have to roll with it too. There could be schedule changes last minute. There could be a class that's canceled and I have to remake your schedule. You have to register for a different class. So, and you're going to have to learn how to use multiple systems, not just Power School with middle college, but there's different portals that the college has, like Insight Portal, Canvas. There's just a lot of different systems. And the people at middle college, the staff, me, Miss Prack, Miss Moore, we don't have access to the college system. So it's a lot of you having to navigate and figure things out and problem solve on your own. So yes, one of the last questions is, are you a good problem solver? So I get a lot of questions even now from current students that hear misinformation from their classmates. So what I want you to do is, we really want students that know how to problem solve without having to reach out to a classmate because that classmate may not have the right information. One of the things we constantly tell students is read all the words slowly and carefully and multiple times if you're not sure. Because a lot of times, if you're scanning an email, you may miss something that will literally tell you what to do next steps. So definitely need to be a good problem solver. And last, do you want to be here? That's the main question, because really this is your education and your friends may not get in. So that's a reality that you have to face if you apply and you get in. And if your other friends did not get in, please know you will make friends. Middle college is a small school and you're going to see the same students in your high school and college classes because we try to group you into the same classes. So you're still going to make friends and you can still have friends outside of middle college, but just know that your friends may not get in and you may be one of the ones chosen. So parents, ask yourselves these following questions. Unfamiliar and uncomfortable areas. So we just want you to understand your student is going to be in classes with adult college students and a college instructor. So please understand that they're going to be hearing adult content sometimes depending on the class. So that's just something you kind of have to be comfortable with. Stepping back. So are you ready to step back and guide your student from the sidelines? Explaining to your child what they need to do instead of doing it for them is really what we're looking for. We need you to guide your student on how to write an email, how to talk to an adult on campus versus you stepping in and doing that for them. We really try to focus on having the student learn to advocate for themselves early on. So will you be able to make your students' education a priority in your house? So give them time and space in your home. You know, chores may have to wait until the weekend. If they're busy Monday through Friday doing schoolwork, they may not be able to do all those household chores that you want them to do because they're working really hard in their high school and college classes. Compassion. So I want you guys to, parents, please understand your child is more than their grades and more than their GPA. And middle college is not middle school anymore. So they really have to grow up pretty quick. And it's very normal. So this is something I need to stress to parents. It's very normal for them to be staying up really late doing work for school because, again, they're in at least 2 to 3 college classes every semester, plus their high school work. So it's pretty normal that they'll be up really late working on things. Sacrifice. So a lot of times I know that parents want to take, you know, if we're on a different calendar, first of all, so we're on the college calendar, not the West Contra Costa calendar. So if you plan vacations, it needs to be at a time that works for both your student that's at middle college and if you have a student in a different school, because our vacation days are not always the same. And school should be the priority, not taking breaks to go on vacation or out of the country, especially now during COVID. If there's not good Wi-Fi in a different part of the country or in a different state, those types of things are important. Student advocacy. So I just mentioned that earlier. CCC instructors, the college instructors will not talk to parents. Most of the time, they don't even reply to me and Ms. Prack, and we're the principal and the counselor. So please understand, you don't have access to the college because your student is in the course. They will not answer emails from parents because they're thinking that they're dealing with a college student, not a high school student, and they have no obligation to talk to you. So please understand that part of it. So watching your son or daughter grow into a young adult. So we do want to mention, please be positive, be there to support your child so that they can talk to you if there's an issue. And we want you to see that they have their potential to grow, and this school would be a good fit for some of your students. So please understand, we really do want your young student to come to us, but please be ready for them to grow up pretty quickly. And does your child want to be here, or is it because you're wanting them to? We don't want your son or daughter feeling pressured to apply because you want them to come, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to do all the work for the classes, and it could just be too much for them at that point. And we just don't want them to negatively impact their future by not taking it serious or not wanting to be there. So please understand, this has to be your child's decision.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. So what does it mean for a high school student taking college classes? As I mentioned earlier, our high school teachers and college instructors expect our students to be present and act mature daily, which means attending all classes on time, which means behaving like a kind and polite young student or young adult, managing your time wisely, etc. These expectations apply in both currently distance learning and also when we go back to in-person learning. Students must also maintain a 2.8 GPA to remain in our program each semester. Failure to do so, students will then be placed on academic probation, in which they will have to meet with me and we'll come up with an action plan and figure out, next steps and so forth. Also, students must adhere to the MCHS EG plan. Students and parents do not get to customize your own college courses or veer off the ed plan. And I'm saying this strictly because we've always, every year, had parents and students wanting to do this. We follow the ed plan and we will not veer off of it. If you have other goals that do not align with the college courses our program offers, then this is a good time to determine if our program is a good fit for you or not. And when school resumes back to in-person instruction, all students are expected to remain on campus. We are a closed campus school. So like we keep saying, Middle College High School is not like a comprehensive high school. So we do not have organized sports. It's an early college program where students are able to excel in college classes. So we don't have any sports. However, students do have the opportunity to play sports at the resident high school. We do have more of a stricter guideline because, again, academics come before sports. Our students have to have a 3.0 GPA. And they have to get permission from me, and I will monitor the student's GPA. If your GPA drops below a 3.0, then you cannot play the sport at your residence school. Other activities our students get to participate in are MCHS and Contra Costa College clubs. They also get to participate in organized academic enrichment. Listed in this slide are just a few of our previous and current clubs that exist at our school. However, if students want to, create a club that's not on their list, they are more than happy to do so.
I'm going to talk about misperceptions about middle college, facts versus myths. So the first one is about the AA degree. So as long as you stick to our ed plan and earn C- or better in all your college classes, you will earn an associate's degree by the time you graduate from middle college when you're a senior. Not everybody will earn this because, again, we realize that college classes can be difficult. And so if you don't pass a class, you may have to retake it. But if you don't pass 2 or 3 classes, you're setting yourself off track to earn the AA degree. But you still earn transferable college units. So I don't want you guys to think that the AA is the end goal, but it is a perk of being in our program. Number 2, you are not guaranteed early graduation at a 4-year because you're leaving us with a lot of units. You're still, there's so many factors that go into it. Many times though, most of our students will only be a 4-year school for 2 to 3 years. But again, it depends on various factors, what type of major, what classes they offer. A lot of those things come into play. So third, they can take any college classes. Yeah, that's not the case. Again, because of COVID, we are all online right now. However, when we do resume back in person, students are not allowed to take online courses, night classes, short-term courses, or weekend courses. So we are very strict about that. We have an MOU with the college. So we don't put our kids in nursing classes. And I know that CCC has a good nursing program, but there's a wait list and that's not part of our ed plan. So we don't even touch those classes. So this is one of our doozy ones that we get every single year. Students who've already taken Algebra 1 or geometry in middle school, you're still going to be in high school math when you come in as a freshman. We don't follow the same path that comprehensives do. So please understand, even if you've taken Algebra 1 already or you've already taken geometry, you will most likely be back in it as a freshman and then determined upon your skills based by your, determined by your math teacher, then we can bump you up to a college level math. Most students don't start taking college math until maybe junior year. So you're not behind, you're not ahead. It's literally, we just need to gauge your skill set before we can move you on to college level math. So number 5, we only accept straight A students advanced. That is not the case. We want a variety of students applying, and there's different factors that go into this, and we want to know that it's a good fit. So you don't necessarily need to be a straight A student. We want students that have, A's, B's, and C's. We just want you to understand that there's many factors that go into how we determine if you're going to be picked to come to our school. And then last one. So we get this a lot. We don't offer advanced placement or IB courses because, again, college trumps all of those. College is the top of the top. So your already college classes in 9th grade, you far exceed the advanced placement or the IB courses that are offered at comprehensive. So you don't need to worry about taking AP courses. We don't offer them because, again, college level courses trump AP. So you don't need to worry about taking an AP exam. You're already in rigorous college classes.
All right, here are some important things that we need you to keep in mind before you decide if you want to apply. As mentioned before, our calendar aligns with Contra Costa College, not West Contra Costa Unified School District. What that means is we'll be in school when other schools are on break and vice versa. So if you have multiple students in multiple schools, this is something that you need to take into consideration. School for us starts August 3rd, and if you're not there on that first day, your space will be given away. This also means that summer break will be shorter than you're used to. But that's okay. School ends for us May 20th, so you'll make it up later. Daily start and end times vary for each student, each day, each semester. Some days you might start as early as 7:30 in the morning, while others you won't have to start until 9:30. Some days can end at 2:30 for you, and other days can end after 5. And then the next semester, it'll be a completely different schedule altogether. So this means you have to be very flexible. We're going to do a quick review of the application next. Please note, if something is repeated, there is a reason. It means it's extra important. I can't stress that enough. Okay, you can find our application on our website. The application is fully online. Please make sure you read everything on the page. You can click here where it says Middle College 2021-2022 application for admission, or here to download the application itself. It's also important to take note of the requirements to apply. So again, make sure you read everything. Like I said, read everything carefully. We've given you the steps that you need to complete the application, all the documents that you need to upload. You'll notice step number 1 tells you to email your current English and math teachers and your counselor. You need to do this before you even start your application. If you're not sure how to ask them for a letter of recommendation, you can click here and we have some tips for you. You're going to need them to give you the date that they submitted their letter of recommendation in order for us to be able to connect it to your application. If they're having a hard time following the link, you can access it directly from here. So you can tell them to come visit our website so that they can try to get it themselves. Let's see. You can also click here for the application. If you missed it, it's at the bottom right there. It says MCHS 2021-22 application for admission. So if you missed it on those other 2 spots, you can access it from there. Okay. You don't need to wait for your teachers and counselors to do their letters of recommendation in order to start your application. You can go ahead and start it. You just can't submit it until you get those dates from them. Here is the first page of the application. Notice the deadline to apply is March 21st. It will go offline at midnight on March 22nd. There will be absolutely no way you can submit it after March 21st. So do not wait till the last minute. Take your time, don't rush it. Again, read everything. I don't know if you've noticed there's been a theme here. Read everything. And like Ms. Martinez said, read all the words. It's very important. So there's lots of information here, lots of helpful tips here. Before moving on to the next page, you're going to notice a little box that has a document in it, and you need to read that document. We're going to be asking you questions about this later in the application. This is a checklist. It's here to help you to make sure you have everything you need. You may need to find your immunization records or find your birth certificate, download a copy of your PG&E, whatever. But this is the list to help you make sure you have everything before you get too much further. Now, we are asking the counselors to include your transcript with their letter of recommendation. If you've been at your school for 2 years, you won't need to upload the proof of 2 years enrollment in California. But if you're not sure if your counselor will be including it, or you've only been at your current school for 1 year, then make sure you include it. We'd rather get it twice than not get it at all. When you begin filling out the application, you're going to notice some things have a little red asterisk. You will not be able to move ahead until you complete it. Now, technically, all the questions are required, even though they may not be marked. This is so we can see who follows instructions and submits a complete application. So do not leave anything blank unless it doesn't apply to you or it's optional. So for example, if you were born in the US, right, then you don't need to tell us when you entered the US. That wouldn't apply to you. So you could leave that blank. Also, you'll see right below that, we're asking for your WCCUSD resident high school, not your charter or private high school or high school you want to transfer to. So if you don't know what your resident school is, there is a link right there that will take you to an app. You just enter your home address in the app and it'll tell you which school is your resident high school. Now, we need you to provide an email address that you check frequently, not one from 2 years ago that you never look at. We're going to be sending the accept and non-accept letters through email only. So if we don't have an email address for you, we can't send you a letter. All right, for the student essay, you will need to download and print this page in order to handwrite your essay. Now, I believe when you're in the application itself, you can right-click it and then select print. We will not accept a typed essay. We don't want to see how your computer writes your essay with spell checks and autocorrects. We want to see how you write your essay. So that's why we need you to handwrite it. And then you're going to need to upload it later with your other documents. The student page, it's just a few short answer questions. These can be typed, but we do expect you to use your own words. You'll notice that the last box is optional. That means you do not have to write anything in there. You can leave it blank if you want, but it is a good spot for you to tell us anything you want us to know when we review your application. Also, when you select your statement, we want you to be as honest as possible. If you're not sure how you feel about middle college, or if you really don't want to be here, or you really, really do want to be here, we want to know that. You'll also notice there's a little red asterisk next to your signature. And that means you can't move forward if you don't sign this page. And by signing it, you're telling us that you were the one that answered all of these questions by yourself. Okay, the parent page, very much like the student page, it's just a few short answer questions. There is also an optional box that you can leave blank. However, this is a good spot for you to let us know anything that you think needs to be explained or clarified. So for example, if you're concerned that your student has more than 10 absences, but it was due to a major illness or injury, but you're worried that we might not accept your student because of it, let us know that here. Okay, the next page is the required documents. This is where you will upload all of those documents, your essay, your birth certificate, immunizations, all that stuff that we've asked you for. There is also a place to upload a photo of yourself. This one is optional, but it's nice when the panelists reviewing your application can kind of put a face to the application. Now, if you're having any trouble uploading any of these documents, the instructions are at the beginning of the application, and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do, which you will know by this point because you will have read all the words carefully by now, okay? All right, now remember, you should have already emailed your English and math teachers and your counselors before this. This is where you will tell us their names and the dates that they submitted the letter of recommendation. Now, if for some reason they have refused to do a recommendation for you, which it's happened in the past, we will not hold that against you at all. But we do ask that you enter their email address for us in case we need to reach out to them. Before you hit submit, I suggest you save it, go back, make sure that you answered everything and that you've included all of the documents that we've asked for. If it comes down between two applications and one of them has a question that was left blank or was missing PG&E or immunizations, that's the one that will get declined. Once you are 100% sure that you've double and triple checked, then go ahead and hit submit. Once you submit your application, you'll get this screen. That means you're good to go. Yay, you're done. Now, make sure, if you notice at the bottom, it says that you need to make sure to allow emails from admission.mchs@wccusd.net. Make sure you allow that because that's the email we will be sending our accept and non-accept letters from. If not, if you don't allow that email, you may need to check your spam or your junk folders, okay? All right, here is the timeline. So you may want to make some notes of these dates. March 21st, That is the deadline. Applications must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. No exceptions. The month of April is when the applications will be reviewed by our panelists. The month of May is when we will be doing the final selections of the new students. June 4th, another super important date. This is the date where acceptance and non-acceptance emails will be sent to you. So make sure you're checking your emails on June 4th, okay? June 9th, another super important date. This is your deadline to accept your space. You may decide you want to go to another school. You may decide that it's just not a good fit. You may have to move, whatever. But if you neglect to respond, then we will give your space away during the week of June 14th. That's when spaces that are not accepted will be offered to other applicants. So if you didn't get an acceptance letter on June 4th, check all week of June 14th, because we will be sending out emails to you if we're offering you a spot that wasn't taken by somebody on June 9th date. Okay, so those are super important for you to keep track of. If you miss an email, you're going to be out of luck. So make sure you check those. Please also note there is no wait list. Okay, we will go back through the applications and pull from our qualified candidates the week of June 14th if those original applicants decline their spot or don't respond. There's no appeals process, and we can't tell you why your student wasn't selected. So please do not send an email asking. We won't know all of that information. All right, good luck. We're going to take a few minutes to go through our questions in the Q&A section. But remember, most answers regarding the application specifically aren't in the application itself or on our website. So if you still have questions about Middle College after tonight, please send an email to this email address, middlecollege@wccusd.net. So Ms. Martinez, Ms. Proc, do we have any questions? Do we know?
There was one about an MOU, but Ms. Prack answered it. So an MOU is a memorandum of understanding, basically an agreement between the college and Middle College High School. So that's what an MOU is. And I haven't seen anything since.
No other questions, are we sure?
Oh, maybe one more. So what is the average class size for each grade? It's about 70 to 75. So that's usually, but you know, students decide to leave us or we have to boot them back to their resident high school depending on how they're doing. But for the most part, it's around 70 to 80. Sometimes it gets a little below 70, but not too often. How many transferable units do students earn by graduation? So that depends. If your student does well and follows our ed plan and passes all the college classes, they will have 60 units when they graduate, which means they would qualify for the associate's degree. An associate's degree is basically just they have the lower division general ed courses taken so that when they start a four-year program at a four-year college, they're typically either sophomore or junior status by the time that they get there. And it's typically the liberal arts, or am I wrong, Ms. Prack and Ms. Moore? What's the AA that students usually complete?
The liberal arts, math, and science. And it's pretty well-rounded across the board for most students. I did have 2 students, by the way, who graduated from this program. So that's really the degree that gives them the most undergraduate work for pretty much most of the majors out there.
Okay, so then we were asked, can you send an application on a different day than the day the teacher sent it?
So I just need to know the date that the letter of recommendation went through. So you should get an email from your teacher saying, oh, you know, I submitted your application on February 10th. So then that's the date you give me. You can submit your application anytime as long as it's before that March 21st deadline. So it doesn't matter when they submit the letter of rec, but you do need to have them give you that date before you submit, because otherwise we're not going to know. It's a different program that we're selecting the letters of rec for. So in order for me to match the letter of rec to your application, I need to know the date so that I can find it. Okay. I hope that answered that.
I think it was pretty clear, but they can always email that Middle College, right?
Yes.
Answers. Okay. I understand there's a music club, but are we able to take music classes? So again, not during, at least not during freshman, sophomore, junior, and first half of senior year. So here's how it works. Last semester of your senior year, you can take classes that are not on the ed plan. However, we are not going to be able to provide books or materials for classes that you want to take that are not on the ed plan. So a music class is not on the ed plan. We would not be able to pay for books or any supplies that you need for that class.
Yeah, so that I can answer the question, is it free to attend Middle College High School? So Middle College High School is a public school, and yes, it's free. However, our students are concurrently enrolled at Contra Costa College, so therefore they will have to pay a student fee, which is pretty much $7 a semester. So every student has to pay $7 a semester, and that's nothing compared to, you know, $600-700 a semester that a full-time student has to pay. In addition to that, we also purchase all college books for our students, and they borrow them, and then we have to return them back.
As long as they match our ed plan.
Yes.
As long as they match the ed plan. So the ed plan are the only courses that we will purchase books and materials for.
Are we having another Zoom like this? I don't believe we are.
We will post this Zoom link. Will be posted on our website once it becomes available. It is recorded. So if you have family members or friends who did not make this meeting but want to see this webinar, we will post it on the website in a week or so.
Okay, this one I'm not sure. We have, the person is saying they've always been a part of WCC, but they recently moved to Solano County, but their children are still part of WCC. Can they still apply?
Yes, as long as you live within the WCCUSD boundaries, then you can apply. We don't care what school you're at. You can be in San Francisco going to school because you use your, you know, work address or whatever. We don't care where you're at, as long as you actually physically reside within the West Contra Costa Unified School District's boundaries.
Okay, and then this one, what is an acceptable amount of absences?
So when you read the instructions, once you read all that stuff carefully, it will tell you it's basically the equivalent of 10 days absent for a semester. So that's really about 2 weeks worth of work missed. So that's the cutoff. So if you have more than the equivalent of 10 days worth of absence, and we do each period. So let's say it's a 7-period schedule that your student has, then 70 absences would be the same as the equivalent of 10 days, which would be the equivalent of 2 weeks. But again, that is listed on our website on that first page where you would find the application.
Okay, so someone's asking, can you transfer to any public college or university if you get an AA? So the beauty of our program is, even if you don't earn the AA, many students do get into public colleges and universities in the state of California, outside of California. The AA is just like an extra boost, but you're earning transferable college credits. So any of you that are in our program and apply to college will most likely get into that 4-year college if you have the grades and the GPA for it.
One of my students, he graduated from middle college, and when they first graduate, they have to apply as freshmen, obviously, because they don't even have a high school diploma when they're actually applying for college. So they'll apply as freshmen. My son went to SF State. They looked at his transcript, they reviewed everything, and they ended up giving him junior status because he had so much. A lot of our kids will be offered sophomore status, depending on what you take, what your major is, all that kind of, there's
how many
so much more that
there's so much more that if you get into our program, I will walk you through all of that and I will explain it all. This one, can students take band at their resident high school? Ms. Prack?
It all varies. I mean, as long as it's after school, every high school is different. We cannot make special accommodations for students to go to another school. Usually sports are okay. I'm not too familiar with band. It would have to be an agreement between myself and that teacher. As long as it's something that's an extracurricular activity that your student can participate is fine. But if band is a course, a high school course, then we cannot, because you can't enroll in both. Let's say the band is in Hercules or Pinole and you're a middle college student, you can't enroll in band at the other school. It has to be an extracurricular activity.
Okay, and this one's probably for Ms. Moore. Do all the teachers listed in the application have to complete a form or just one?
So we are asking for 3 letters of rec. So we need one from your English teacher, we need a second one from the math teacher, and we need one from your counselor. Now, I did have a question a couple days ago because somebody said that their student is not taking English. So if that's the case, then let me know that in that optional spot and ask one of the teachers that might at least be able to speak on English. And the reason that we're asking for an English and a math recommendation is because when you're taking these college level courses, if you're already struggling in middle school with English and math, it's going to be that much more difficult at middle college because you're going to be right in those college classes, expected to do college papers, 10-page papers that require a proficiency in English. You'll be going after that first year straight into college math, and those are quick, fast-paced, 1 semester long classes. So if you don't have a really good understanding of math proficiency right now at middle school, it's probably not going to be a good fit. So we want to hear from your math teacher and your English teachers specifically. And then your counselor, obviously, they're going to be giving us a lot of paperwork, and they're going to be able to speak on, you know, your personality, your behavior, things like that that we need to know. So we need those 3. Anything more, anything less, we don't want. So we don't care about your neighbor Johnny writing you a letter of recommendation saying what a great kid you are. I'm sure they think you're a great kid, but that's not going to help us. So English, math, and counselor.
Okay, so someone's asking any and typical gender makeup. So I'm not sure if that person is asking how many male and female students we have, but I think it's about half and half. I'm not sure what that question was really asking. The next one is their child has an IEP. Will this affect her application?
So we are also, if there is an IEP, your teachers and your counselors should be letting us know that, and they are being asked to upload the IEP. It really depends on the actual IEP, and if we can accommodate, then absolutely not a problem. If it's something that can't be accommodated because of the college, then that's something that we have to consider. But it's definitely not going to affect whether or not you get in, like I said, unless we can accommodate it. So definitely your counselor will be uploading all that information for us.
Okay, next one is when do we think in-class instruction will begin? Ms. Prack, do you want to take that one?
We are not, I'm not confident to answer that yet because our district is not even talking about going to in-person yet, nor to college. Regardless of what West Contra Costa plans to do, we have to align ourselves with what Contra Costa College is going to do because our program is located on the college's site. So if CCC chooses to still continue with remote learning, then we have to honor that. And they have not had the discussion yet, so we will keep everybody posted. But at this point, I'm not sure. However, our first day of the fall semester is August 3rd, right, Ms. Moore?
Yes.
So we do start 2 weeks earlier than West Contra Costa. So that's really important for you to make note of as well. So for the first summer, if students are accepted, your summer will be cut short. But after that, you know, our students pretty much in school in May, Memorial Day weekend typically.
Okay, and then we answered this already, the average number of absences that is acceptable. Ms. Moore, you answered that one already, I believe. Is the ed plan on our website? Yes, it is. So if you just search a little bit around on our website, you will see our ed plan. Typically, how many transferable units? I think I answered this. If the student passes all their college classes, they will have 60 units by the time they graduate. Sometimes they have more depending on what they take. Is there a preference for minority students in the application evaluation? We want all students to apply, and there is no preference. We want all students to apply. It doesn't matter.
We just want to see that it's a good fit. We don't care about race or ethnicity or anything else. We just want to know that this is a program that is going to be a good fit for you and your student, and that your student's going to be a good fit for middle college and Contra Costa.
So again, the ed plan is listed on our website. Ms. Pratt,
So-
Ms. Moore, do you know where?
I believe if you go into the About Us tab, it should say information. I'm not 100% certain on that one. But I believe that's where it is.
think it
But
is
click
too. I
some of
just
those
can't
links on
remember.
our the little tabs on the top of our website. But I think there's a tab that I think it says information.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
click around, it'll be there.
Okay, the next one is there any info on how many students from middle college end up getting a bachelor's and master's degree in what fields of study? Once they leave us, they are out in the free world, and it's you know, we don't get any information from them. I will say that about 70% of our students choose to apply to four-year schools when they're seniors. And then the rest, like 30%, stay at CCC to either retake classes that they didn't pass or to just get those 60 transferable units to transfer to a four-year as a junior. So how does lunch?
And some students, it actually will benefit them to stay at Contra Costa College because it's a little bit cheaper to get some of their other undergraduate stuff done. So it kind of depends on what their major is. I know we've had students that stayed at CCC for sometimes even, 2 years because they wanted to get some of their undergrad stuff for their major done, and it was cheaper to do it through CCC. And CCC is really a very good college. They have a lot of good programs, a lot of good teachers, a lot of good stuff. So it's really all going to depend on your student and what they major in and what they're comfortable with.
Okay, how does lunch work at Middle College? So if we're talking in person, we do have school lunch provided by the district, and we're set up in a part of the campus so that the students know where to go to pick up their lunch. Otherwise, there's like a cafeteria, and then we have the culinary restaurant that CCC runs. So there's lunch options for them. And then if they don't have the money to pay for those, there's always, our school lunch program that you have to qualify for.
Right. And another thing I want to add is that there is no set lunch schedule for all students. Every student's schedule is different. We pretty much make their schedules around their college classes. So there'll be days where your student may not have a lunch break at all, but have to pack snacks. And there'll be days where their lunch may be at 11 o'clock. So it varies, but there are options for our students to have lunch on campus.
And as we mentioned, we are a closed campus. So if students are going off to get Starbucks or McDonald's, that's a no. Like, they are not allowed to leave our campus, but it's a college campus, so we don't have a fence or anything to check that. So it's the honor system.
And I do want to reiterate too about the lunch, because like I said, I was a parent. I wasn't working here when my older son started at Middle College, and his first schedule came. He had no lunch break. I freaked out. I was like, how dare they not give you a lunch break? I get a lunch break when I work, I was the one freaking out. My student was totally fine. So parents, just know your kids will be fine. If they don't have a lunch break built into their schedule, they do have passing periods. A lot of our high school instructors will allow them a few minutes to grab a bite to eat because, they don't want them starving to death. We know that, food is important to keep your brain functioning. But our students figure it out. They are super, super resilient. So if you don't have a lunch break, it's totally fine. You're going to be fine.
The next one, do the upcoming students have to complete a summer with us?
No.
No, they don't. So it's basically, we just need them to, if they get accepted in, they have to show up on August 3rd.
That's right. Well, our hope is, and I mentioned this in somebody else's question, is our hope is to have a summer bridge program if possible. We were planning on doing that this past summer, but the pandemic pretty much changed everything. So depending on the state of our nation and where we're at, and we can go back or not. That's our hope, is to have a summer bridge program so we can introduce our students to our program and have a good transition for them.
Okay, so this one might be lobbed towards Ms. Moore. If there's no counselor and the principal in the school is new, who would be the best to get a letter of recommendation from?
Well, as far as the counselor recommendation, because we need specific paperwork, that's really mostly what we're asking of the counselors. So a principal, a vice principal, counselor, whoever has access, even if it had to be an office manager, I'm sure that would be fine too. But there's certain paperwork that we need provided to us from the school. And that's mostly what they're going to be giving us. And then no matter how new they are to the school, I'm pretty sure they'll know whether or not your kid is a troublemaker. So that's really all we're asking at that point from them. So the principal or the counselor, or the principal, even if they're new, should be fine.
Okay, so this one is, the ed plan is math, science, English, history, etc., right? So the ed plan is on our website, and you can see all the college courses because they're designated, and you'll see them. You'll see high school, and then right below it, it'll say college courses. A lot of them do cover those subject areas: math, science, English, history. There's fine art. We have drama classes that they take. So I think I answered that one. If we're freshmen from another school, can we still apply even though we only have 1 year in that high school? So we We do allow ninth graders, current ninth graders, to apply to us as well. So you can apply for middle college if you choose to do that. So hopefully
As
that
long
answers.
as you're in our resident school.
Yes. Thank you for that. Are students required to take a language class, and do you offer Japanese? So we offer Spanish only at middle college because that's the only teachers we have to teach foreign language, and it's just Spanish. So you can take Japanese, but it's going to be probably your second semester of your senior year, and you have to pay for the materials for that particular class. So yeah, you're required to take Spanish all 3 years, and you would start it in sophomore year and go all the way to senior year. What if your child only has one teacher for all subjects when he or she needs 3 references?
So they need to complete both of the English form because it's questions very specific to English. And then they'll also need to do the math letter of recommendation because the questions are specific to math. So the one teacher will have to do both of those letters of rec.
Okay. And then would having previous college classes help in application? Who wants to take that one? Me?
It's not so much that they would help. I mean, if you've already taken too many college classes, then we're going to run out of stuff to give you. So it's not necessarily going to help. But if you have taken 1 or 2, it's good for us to know that there is a spot for you to upload that transcript from the college so that we can see what you've taken. But it's not going to really help you all that much.
Okay. If the student gets in, what would the student need to get for the school? Do the students need to have his or her laptop, or will school provide? So the district we give them Chromebooks. If they're brand new to our district, we give them a Chromebook and all the materials they would need. So their college and high school textbooks, we provide for them. So that, you just have to provide, basic school supplies for your student.
Right.
If my child already took Math 118 and Math 120, can those credits be transferred to middle college? Yes, because that's Math 120 is part of our ed plan.
Right, but let me just clear
Yes,
this
please.
up because I don't want this to be a misunderstanding. We will accept those credits. However, freshman year, we get this a lot. You will still be put in an algebra or geometry class first semester. You will not be taking a college math class when freshmen come in first semester. There's various reasons for that. Number one, all students who got accepted are already pre-registered for college classes, right? So this will be assessed and students will be able to take a college math class and continue their spring semester. So I just want to make sure we're clear on that because so many parents will say, well, they already took college math. Why can't they take it fall semester? We've already registered for classes for students before you even come in.
And
so you're just going to have to
yes.
wait.
So, and please understand, they will get to college level math, but there is no rush for it. Please understand that they will get to the college math eventually. How many students complete middle college in 4 years versus 5 years? So we have pretty much 100% graduation rate. All
In
students
4 years.
graduate. Huh?
Yeah. They all graduate in 4 years. We don't do a 5th year.
So when you see 5th year on the ed plan, that means those students graduated from middle college, but they are now staying at CCC as a 5th year CCC student only, meaning they're just a college student. They are not a middle college high school student as a 5th year. There is no study abroad or foreign exchange program. So that was the question, is there a study abroad or foreign exchange program? No. Are there special ed accommodations at middle college?
It all varies. We don't have an RSP program. We don't have a special ed program at all. We're an early college program, so it all varies on the IEP of the student. We don't have a lot of teachers. We only have 10 teachers. And so it depends on the student's IEP.
Is there summer school? So I'm not sure if you're talking pre coming into freshman year or if you're talking like if they need to retake a class. So let me talk on both. Again, Ms. Prack mentioned the summer bridge program. If your student fails a class, high school class, the district does offer summer school. If they fail a college class, not all the college classes are offered in summer. So if they have to retake a college class in summer, it's only if it's offered. Is French language available? If not, can it be taken through CCC? Any information on cost? We only offer Spanish. Go ahead, Ms. Prack.
Yeah, this was a question I still get from current parents and students. again, we only have 10 teachers. We don't have the capacity to offer multiple foreign languages at our high school, so Spanish is it. The only way we can offer another French language if a teacher retires, and that's something that the students want. In terms of taking any foreign language classes from CCC, you have to wait until you've met most of the classes taken on our ed plan, and then we can consider that. The cost and all that, it all, because you're within our program still, you wouldn't have to pay the registration fee to take that, but you do have to pay for the materials and the books and so forth.
Okay, if you are denied for the 21-22 school year, can you reapply the following year? Yes. What time?
And we advise you to do that just because, and I'll tell you, we take 75 to 80 students and we get maybe about 400 applications. So if you applied as a freshman and you didn't get in, even though you may have been a great candidate, we obviously can't take everyone. We just don't have the capacity to do that. But if for some reason you don't get in, you can definitely apply that next year. And I can tell you that we usually have about 10 to 15 open spaces for incoming sophomores, and we get about 15 to 20 applications. So your odds are quite a bit better of getting in sophomore year if you didn't get in for freshman year.
Okay,
So
the
definitely
next
reapply.
one, what time are students starting and leaving? Again, like we mentioned, every semester is very different. Your student may start at 9:30 sometimes and be out by 2:15. Sometimes they may start at 8 a.m. and not be out till after 5. It just it varies because I have to create different schedules for them every semester because they're taking, again, 2 to 3 different college classes every semester. So hopefully that answered that one.
And also, I just want to add to that, it all depends on the grade level. Freshman year, it's pretty much general 8 to 4 max, right? Unless before we had drama in the evening, but when they become sophomores and juniors and they're taking chem and physics and anthro labs, those classes are used, some of them are in the evenings, and they do end up, lasting till about 5 p.m.
Or sometimes 6, just depending.
We try to ease your freshmen in. We're not trying to overload them and bombard them.
We're no floating device. We try to ease them into the pool. So
we're cognizant of that, believe me.
What happens with the student if they don't have good grades when they're at middle college? So again, we put them on academic probation. We don't boot you guys out right away if you fail. But again, like if it's not a good fit and you keep failing college classes, we will have to send you back to your resident high school because this is not a good fit for you and it's putting your future in jeopardy because if you're going to have to retake all those college classes to get those courses on your transcript showing that you retook them.
And just so you know, a lot of the college classes that you do take are also classes that you need to get your high school diploma. So some of those college classes count for your fine arts, will count for your math, will count for your science. So if you don't pass the college class, you have to retake it in order to graduate with a high school diploma, which is why if it's a real struggle, we would recommend you go back to your resident high school because first and foremost, we want you to graduate with a diploma. So all of that other stuff will become irrelevant.
Okay, someone regarding IEP, would it be possible to have our students' IEP reviewed by MCHS before applying?
Not before, no, it just has to be included with the application.
Thank you. Do you offer support for filling out the application? Is there someone else that we can ask for support?
It's pretty self-explanatory. You shouldn't need any help. If you have questions as you're going through, like I said, please email the middle college at WCCUSD.net. But I created the online application and I tried to make it as easy and straightforward as possible.
Okay. Do you need to take Spanish? So yes, that's our foreign language requirement for high school. You're taking Spanish 1, 2, and 3, and you meet college requirements for that because they recommend 3 years and are requiring 2. So you meet that because you're taking all 3 years of Spanish. We only offer Spanish at middle college. And last one that I see, are students allowed to drive and park on campus once they're sophomores? Yeah, yes. You guys are allowed to park on campus.
Yeah, you're allowed to park. You have to get a parking permit through Contra Costa College or else they'll get ticketed. Or you can, pay for parking, but that might be pretty pricey. But there are student parking lots. And that's, a lot of our students drive and park on campus. And that's why we're very, strict with making sure they don't leave campus because It's not an off-campus type of site.
Okay, I think we answered all of them.
I'm going to share my screen real quick because I want to show everybody where the ed plan is. So here we go. All right, can we all see that's our website? Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go up here to where it says Our School, you'll have a little drop-down menu. If you go to Information, that will take you straight to our FAQ. So there's a lot of questions that can be answered here. And then you'll see over here on the side, it says Sample Ed Plan. If you click on that, that will show you what our ed plan is. Now, it does say sample because the classes could change from year to year depending on what's offered by the college. So this should give you a pretty general idea of what your students will be taking the 4 years that they're there.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Okay, any last questions? I'm double checking on the Q&A. I think we're good.
Okay, again, if you have any questions after tonight, if something pops into your head at 2 o'clock in the morning, go ahead and throw off an email to that middle college email address. I will be checking it. I'm the one that will be answering it. And if I don't know the answer, which I should, because I've been working here for almost 10 years now. But if for some reason I don't know the answer, then I'll have Ms. Prack or Ms. Martinez answer it. So definitely send all questions to middlecollege@wccusd.net.
All right. Well, I just also want to take this time to thank everybody for sharing your evening with us. Thank you, Ms. Molina, for being the interpreter, and thank you, Mr. Bobby Jordan, for setting this all up for us. So have a good evening, everyone. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.